Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to Lion Voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
All to the East became the official theme song for Repatriation when I was in Ghana.
Yes. Talk about your trip to Ghana.
Again, people, believe all you who coming, we say Rastafari. If you don't want to say Rastafari, just know that there is a higher power. Some call him God. Whatever you call him, there's a higher power and an energy in you that exists. He's real. I'm living testimony. The story I'm going to tell you because you see how long I've been in music and I love it. And not everybody get the chance. Okay. Everybody always said they wanted to tour Europe and this and that. I always said from I was young, I want to go to Africa first.
Well, Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice.
Yeah. I shall lift up I eyes unto the hills from whence cometh I help. I help coming from the true living eyes, Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the First, who created Zion and earth. He shall not suffer I foot to be moved. I hold, he that keepeth Ethiopia shall neither slumber nor sleep. Well,
REG-G0, Rego, reggae music is all liquid go home. REG-G0, Rego, it's my style, it's my music, it's my beat, it's my flow. REG-G0, Rego, reggae music is all liquid go home, come on.
Rego is in Africa. We're going to Jamaica. Rego from DC. Rego is international. Before we hit up, we do, you know we hit up. We do everything we do, you know we hit up. 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 Yeah. I'm a nightmare. Only me alone can fix that girl.
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie the First.
Jah.
Glory and honor, Rastafari. In the name of His chosen Queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka Dejazmatch Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras. I'm an entertainment attorney, I'm an artist, I'm an author, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of the Lion Voice. And right now I have a very special guest here. You know that this is the Lion Talk Show and the time has come for the Lions to tell the story. So I am excited right now because Brethren is here. A Brethren I've known over 20 years. I moved from Toronto, Canada. I came to DC, born in Jamaica. But one of the things that I met was the black people of Washington, DC. And this Brethren here, you know, exemplify the spirit of the black man in DC, you know, straight from Southeast DC, which is the chocolatest of the chocolate city. We're gonna find out about DC. We're gonna go into whole heap of fullness. Who am I talking about right now? I'm talking about my brethren Ras Lidj,
aka Leray, aka Rasta Ray.
Blessing. How's everything, man?
Everything Isla, man. I can't complain.
And I'm here in your palace. Give thanks for welcoming I.
Yeah.
In the Marcus Garvey Center.
Yeah, Marcus Garvey Determination Center. That's what I call it down here.
Give thanks.
Always determined, you know.
All right. So this is a pioneer of an art form. He is coined as Rego, which combines reggae and go-go. We're gonna play some of it for you. You're gonna hear it. But
Well, I'm talking about all to the east, all to the east, all to the east. Won't you look to the east? Come again now. All to the east, all to the east. Say what? All to the east. I want you look to the east. Hey, Mama Africa, she calling you. Mama Africa, you hear her calling you. Mama Africa, she's calling you. Mama Africa, you hear her calling you. Mama Africa, around the corner, y'all. Mama Africa, in Gambia too. Mama Africa, down Sierra Leone. Mama Africa, all over Africa. It's just.
But before I get to Rego, we're gonna jump in the Lion Talk time machine.
Okay.
We're gonna take it back to your childhood. You know, tell us about where you were born. Bring us back to when DC was the chocolate city. You know,
Aye.
we know it was called the murder capital. A lot of things that you have seen, you have been through. Bring us back to young Lidj. You know, where were you born? What was that like?
So it's kind of like what you asked me about is when they catch me this year at Rebel Salute, and it was on stage.
Yes.
I jump, and the thing you just explained is I'm jumping when Louis Culture singing. I've been through hills and valleys. I survived out of the old gangster alley.
In real life.
In real life.
Yes.
So yeah, growing up in Southeast DC, you know, it's funny today. Southeast is the mecca. You know, people want to claim they was from Southeast, but I'm gonna start also talking about the parallels of how I see it coming into reggae and Rastafari.
Okay.
For those who don't know Southeast, especially if you're a yardie or you have a love for Jamaica, in the dark side, Southeast would be a parallel to what some would say was Kingston for us.
Yes, yes.
You know what I mean?
And not
Growing
just
up.
Kingston, but like Tivoli Garden, Rima, Jungle.
For us.
Yeah,
That's Southeast.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I grew up in a place though called Linda Poland, Bellevue Street, Southeast. And my neighbor underneath me at this time was Little Benny, original from Ray Essence.
Okay.
And this is like before Ray Essence really even started, because him and my brother, them man in 6th grade, like at Washington Highline, and I don't know what this thing is, one light skin and one dark skin, but outside them man there, they have to fight every day.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what it was between Benny and my brother Sean. But yeah, so that was growing up in Southeast. You had to learn how to fight, you had to know how to fight. My mother though, she taught in the community center there, she taught charm school to all the young ladies in the school. You know, they know her as Miss King.
Okay.
She's Miss Day now, but they know her, and she taught charm school. She's a lady even today, still teach Bible to kids over there, and little kids.
Okay.
So, and then me and my brothers grew up during that time. So this is the 70s, you know, early 70s.
I was gonna say, what year are we
I'm
talking
born
about?
1967,
Okay.
August 23rd, 67.
Give thanks.
Yeah.
So this is early 70s DC. This is before crack. This is a different time.
Yeah. So, and with music, while my mother was teaching charm school in a place called the Baptist Center, you probably know it because you know a bit about Southeast. Joe Hinnon Baptist Church sit right up there on the top of the hill. When you're going up, I think it's Barnaby Road or one of them.
Okay.
That church right up there.
Yeah,
that whole community there, there's Walter Washington Estates.
Yeah.
That was Linda Poland right there.
Okay.
You see, that was Linda Poland.
Okay.
So,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we used to learn music in there. My mother was on one side, and I was in the same room with all of the guys who were Ray Essence original members. I was little with a guitar, and these guys was learning music then. That's before their name was Ray Essence. So fast forward a little bit, go-go music break around the same time hip hop was breaking.
Okay.
You know, John Master J even said one time, rest in peace, John Master J, Run DMC.
Yeah, man.
He even said one time that go-go music was just as big as hip hop, but as you say, go-go had its, what's the thing we were talking before we start?
What was that?
It has its engine.
Yes.
To make hip hop go.
Yeah, the hip hop had the engine, the machine behind it.
The machine behind it. Go-go never had that, so go-go became and stayed right there localized. Born and raised right out of Southeast. Most of the early pioneers of Go-Go. The early Rare Essence and them got it from Baloo Senior High School.
Okay.
My high school. So that's where I graduated from.
Okay, and I live in this neighborhood today, but it's a bit gentrified. You know, I came with a black gentrification wave, so we didn't have the same reputation that the Southeast
Right.
that you grew up in. Tell me about Southeast in the 80s, because that must have been something to behold.
All right.
Because for those who don't know, Washington, D.C. was considered the murder capital of the United States during the 1980s when crack hit the city. It hit very hard. Tell us about growing up in an environment like this.
So there's a lot to tell, but I'm gonna put it like this.
Yes.
When I'm sealing this in the end of what I'm saying to you, you will see how Rastafari reggae music was always there for me.
Okay.
And y'all have a way for me.
Yes.
So if I talk about Southeast in them days, I don't really like to talk about it a lot, but
Yes.
I have to now.
Yes.
Because the story has to be told.
And that's
And,
it.
and it was very, very dark. You know, I personally myself have 4, my mother have 7 youth. I'm the youngest of 6 boys. I have 1 sister younger than me. Okay? I have 4, so I'm the youngest son. I have 4 older brothers, man, dead. 2 of them murder. Gunshot, murder.
Yes.
1 brother dead from AIDS and 1 brother from cancer. You understand? So at that time there, in anybody who ever experienced death of any kind of way,
Yes.
it affects you.
Of course.
When one of your loved ones gone. But to see somebody leave life and lose life like that, and I'm playing in the Go-Go Hall, because fast forward, you know, I'm growing up in the 80s. My mother, man, I usually don't tell people this.
Yes.
I'm a big boxing fan. When I was coming up with my brother before me, Sean, and I remember being like 3rd or 4th grade, we used to go to Hillcrest Heights boxing gym. I love boxing because one thing about boxing, if me and you fight in boxing, it's just who the best like that.
Yeah.
When you fight on the street,
Anything
once I
can
get the
happen.
best of you,
Yeah.
your cousin and them see me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I never liked to fight on the street.
Yeah.
My brother Sean and all of them, they was good, but I like boxing and it was just
You like
fair
the
to me.
structure.
I like the structure.
Yeah.
I don't have no problem if it tests you, but I don't.
Yeah. We're gonna test in the ring so we can see
If
who
anything
is-
go
yeah.
wrong, we walk away. And if
Exactly.
I don't like it, I want to see you again tomorrow. See you again tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how it was. But then
Yeah.
it turned to crime and violence. And like I say, dark for me before Rastafari. When I tell you, say my brothers, Pastor Garner, 2-1. In the 80s, guys like my brother them was top of tops.
Okay.
My brother is the first man you ever seen up here, Timberland boots and the Super Tims, the brown ones.
Okay.
My brother went to HD Woodson, he didn't go to high. And Woodson always had a flair for being
Yeah.
sharp, just as sharp.
Yeah.
And them man, they uptowners and the money. As a Jamaican, you might can relate to it. And when we say dark and badness, no disrespect to nothing or nobody, but you would have known it, as I say, Kingston and Tivoli Garden. When I see the stories now,
Yeah.
I hear about Showers Posse and these type of
yes,
guys.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
And they were in DC.
They were in
Heavy.
DC, so the
This
money
time. Yes.
running around this time, yeah.
Yes.
Money, it don't need to go down that road. We know the
Yes.
story. And if you are youth in DC from Southeast, anywhere in DC, it don't have to be Northeast, Northwest. If you in the ghetto, you mix up in it some kind of way.
It was just.
You understand?
Yeah, man. It was
I carry in
ubiquitous.
the,
Yes.
the trash bags and the boxes and
Yes.
I become scientist.
Yes.
I know about school. I graduate high school
Yes.
and 2 years late
Yes.
because I'm a big man on the street. All of my teachers, them in high school, who no right and them use this,
Yes.
or because I had a brother who on the
Okay.
other man's side too.
Yes.
Any teacher who
Yeah. Them a link.
them a
Yes.
link.
Yes.
As the youngest brother, I know this.
Yes,
So
yes.
as a scholar, I don't have no respect for you. 'Cause I know last night what
Yes.
you do.
What you did.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yes.
So, but my mother, and why I start life about my mother from seeing her older sons, My mother was a lady who took me out the boxing gym and carried me down the hill with my little sister who was taking ballet. My mother bought me a pair of top shoes and carried me to the dance school. From me, and a teacher in Maryland told her early, because I started out in theater. I was always good on stage. I step on stage at 5 and recite the poem, and in the play I'm ready. It's like when I hit the stage, it's a natural. So one teacher tell her, because we moved to Maryland for a short time, and that's when my only brother who I have lived now, he catch his first charge in Maryland. He gone to Upper Marlboro, he catch 8 years. And the next detective on the Maryland side tell my mother about my brother Sean, say, I just can't catch him. He's slippery. But I'm telling you, I got a cell waiting on him. And tell that to my mother. So my mother, boom, we going back to DC side now. We come back to the DC side. And come back in the DC side, you wouldn't know, not the friendship that's there now across from St. Elizabeth on Martin Luther King. The original friendship down by Eastover, the big brown school. Mentality now in education. You familiar with what I'm talking about? They might call it PR Harris or something.
I know the area.
You know the area. It's down there, Livingston Road. There's a school there. DC came with a thing called Open Space School. And when I moved back there, see, at that time, because it's so bad, if you don't go to school, you more or less go to Cedar Knolls or Oak Hill. These are juvenile detention centers. You know what I mean? When you come to Unruly for school, you grow up in Cedar Knolls and Oak Hill and them places there until you graduate from there and you've gone to Lawton.
These are prison.
This is prison, jail. So as a youth now, you have to make up your mind early. If this is what you want to do or the direction.
Did you ever get arrested or touch the jail side of things?
No, because I know when to. Well, you know when it happened to me? It happened to me when I was a big man and I leave DC and I moved down south.
Don't jump the line.
We're not going to jump the line.
Make it stay.
We stay, but because of what I learned from my brothers and them, the way I was learning. Very, very clever with my thing. I used to get paid to do the least and then I knew how to, when I'm going, remember I'm doing theater. And inside the theater world there's all kind of people and they like all kind of things. So my thing is different. I've always been a hustler and kept a job. When I was a young boy, I had a paper route. You deliver newspaper, everything.
And this is the far eye within you because you're still productive, even within the chaos. Because I want the viewers to understand when he's saying these things, the type of destruction that this money was bringing into the community. Fast money, murder, the crime rate skyrocketing. So there's chaos. There's basically children running homes because the parents are strung out.
So what can your mother tell you? Don't do this. Your mother working at the government to try and buy a car, and your mother is not even thinking Benz or BMW. She don't know you 17 years old and your Benz is parked around the corner hiding. You drive that to school every day. When somebody come tell her and she want to reprimand you, what she gonna say to you? Because they say, mommy, that's cool. And you go buy mommy one. Or tell her drive the Benz and you gonna go buy something else. This is the reality of the 80s and the 70s with the drugs coming in and how it changed, you see. But now me, and you see when you're an entertainer or you have some talent and something special, even the dudes on the street will tell you. I remember one time a man see me make certain moves. And a man look at me, and as a virgin, you know, he's one of these guys. When you come through junior high school, normal people in junior high school, you're 14th and 9th grade. This virgin is about 17, 18 and 9th grade. You know what I mean? So him see me.
And we don't want to laugh at it, but you know, we know people like that. Even in my high school, we have some old man that were in there seated up, you know?
Yeah.
And not do them things. So it's,
The man see me make certain move and he said, Lorraine, you out here? I said, nah, man. He said, your brother them wrong for that. You don't belong out here. These kind of things.
Yeah, he planted a seed.
He planted a seed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
One night, man, listen, and this is reality. When we're talking about Southeast, we're gonna move forward, but one night, I want to tell you how real it is and show. When you grow up with certain man in Southeast so close, your family, you and your brother and them hang together, they become your cousin.
Yeah.
So I have a cousin like that. Him and my brother, I remember my telling said my brother go to jail already.
Yeah.
Excuse me, people, for talking so much patois, but I'm like that when I get with my brethren. It's a Rasta thing. Rasta, we have language like the Ises and things like that. Yeah, I'm from Southeast DC straight up, but sometimes when I get to reason with my brethren, I just go in and it's patois like that. You know what I'm saying?
I love the twang. Yeah, we call it. Yeah, man.
That's Rego though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Roots rock reggae linked with the DC go-go beat.
Yeah.
But from certain people tell me things like that, man, like stay off the street. Like I said, there's a brethren, I call his name Paul. He was my brother's best friend.
Yeah.
All right. I remember one time trying to be nosy and listen when them man planning their plan. And it's something I'm not supposed to hear. Paul go push me and say, go read a book. If I see Paul today, I want to tell him I listened. And the reason why I tell you if I see Paul today, because I just saw it on social media the other day. Paul just come home after 33 years, brother.
Wow.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So when the man tell me go read a book,
you did it.
Look at me now. Thank you, Paul.
Rastafari. We're in Marcus Garvey's center, which is the Brethren House production. The Brethren has come from the inner city and made a life of it for himself that, you know, his mother would be proud of.
I want to show you something, man. You see this?
Legal money.
Marcus Garvey. When I'm in high school musically, I was a drum major for Baloo Senior High School marching band. And then give me this to keep forever. You know what I mean? Legendary. And at the same time, this is when I hit the stage. I moved to the biggest go-go club. There was every time in go-go now you have certain clubs that spring up. You know that. You have certain clubs that spring up. This the hot club. In the 80s now you have the Black Hole up northwest DC. And you have Cherries in Southeast. I'm a Southeast dude. Baloo High School. I started work with a band called Physical Wonders. Right? And the coolest thing about playing in Physical Wonders is because that was the hottest club, one of the hottest go-go spots at the time, we always get to play every week because our manager, rest his soul, but if you talk the truth, he owned the club. He owned the club. And so we played it, we rehearsed there, we played it every week, and we opening for EU, Rare Essence, Chuck Brown, anybody there, we there. And we get to go out, but we didn't get to go out as much as we should have because he was our manager. But now here's where the dancing that my mother take me come back. Because I wasn't as good when I first go to that band as like a talker or a rapper. I was still perfecting that craft. But I was a showman.
You could dance and
I could put on a show, bro. And that's what they know me for. You know what I mean? But go-go is a music now. When we're talking about go-go, because of the 80s, it definitely was a hustler's music. It's a party music. It's a big, the beat don't stop in go-go. It's no one song stopping everybody. And you wait. No, you see when one song ends, the beat's still going and we warming up the next song. We're going to talk to you, you know, and we're going to warm up the crew.
And it's a very African music. Congo drum. If you haven't heard a live go-go, it's something. Because I didn't even really love go-go until I went to a live go-go and I really feel the energy. I went to Mirage back in the day and I never see so much fight. You know? And I'm talking about females. I'm talking about you there and dance and you see bouncers come around. One bag of thing, it was like a movie.
You know, when you go to go-go in them days, you almost have to. You love the music.
Yeah.
But you have to be prepared to fight too, because here's the next thing will come in with it. If you in some type of badness and you're in a crew, and your crew run into this crew, it's a problem.
And I hear they used to get U-Haul van and the whole neighborhood just come to the go-go. Is that true?
Everything, man. Everything. Everything. And you see in the go-go, when you say like that, the neighborhood come. If it's Minnesota Avenue, when Minnesota Avenue representing, Berry Farms representing, they up front. And this how the fight start, because they have their big sign, you know. Every guy, every girl in the crew, Minnesota Avenue, and you there enjoying the band, and we don't know you. So it's immediately we screw on you. Minnesota Avenue, Minnesota. And if you don't like it, you don't want to fight though. Once I do you all of that, you don't want to fight, because if you go fight now, it's about 50 of us.
So you don't,
And even because I start that, right there you stand a chance of getting stomped out, beat out. You know what I mean? But me personally, I live too many places. I moved to too many neighborhoods.
So people knew you all around.
People know me, and then people know me for the music. And I wasn't about that. And it's just something about me. I guess because I was an entertainer, you know, it was just, I didn't have to go into that realms in that zone.
So take me to the journey. How did you first learn about Rastafari? How did that intersection happen from Southeast?
So, rise in peace and rest of him soul, Ras Mugabe.
Yes.
You have to know Ras Mugabe.
Angel.
Ras Mugabe is the first Rasta, and really right there, we remember when Ras Mugabe put on his nuts and become Rasta, because he was a champion track runner. When they call it marathon runner, live in my community.
And shout out to Ras Mugabe's son Malik Dope.
Dope
is big around the place. Drummer on social media, goes to he's flying all around the world, carrying his father's legacy with him too. You know, his spirit. So big up Malik Dope. But go ahead.
So Ras Mugabe now, my neighborhood Linda Poland become very prominent, because we have Little Benny from Linda Poland. And Red Essence is hot. And Red Essence will always be the hottest. And just foundation go bad. That's Southeast, Red Essence. Okay. So Little Benny was from my neighborhood. Ras Mugabe, when the man that my cousin will never understand when Mugabe started dread. Because he's a man just put on a hat and grow his dread like that. You never know, twist up nothing. You don't do that in them days. So he used to always wear this purple thing. Although they call it what, hat or scully. So my cousin them just call him Purple, and the name stick. So before him Ras Mugabe, we know him as Purple. All right. So Purple become Rasta now, and me now, I just watched that. And then later, as I graduate from Ballou, I go to UDC. I was working in the auditorium in the theater on the tech crew. And in the tech crew now, we had a day when Ivan Van Sertima, Dr. Joseph Ben, and one more speaker was there, came in. I'm young. I should know things now. This is where you understand in America, things which you guys learn in other parts of the world about history, Marcus Garvey, culture, you know about every other island, you know the position. We should have been learning those things. But as you see what my high school life was like, you know what I mean? This is a big moment at UDC. And they're telling me who Ivan Van Sertima and Dr. Joseph Ben is.
Legend.
Yeah. In come walking these three big head hats now. It's Ross Iris, Ross Pedal, and Bro Jack. With them was Mikey and Sydney too. So they sit down and I'm well impressed by them. Then I'd been to Trinidad and Tobago already. That was impressive for me. Trinidad, because when I went to Trinidad in '89, oh my God, man. I was in the to see the minibus riding on the street like Martin Luther King Avenue. And at that time Clement Ivy had a song out. Near the bun, near the cheese, most come between. It's just banging in the bus, you know what I mean? Up and down the road of Frederick Street in Trinidad. I said, whoa, what's this? You know, the A8 and the A6 don't ride like that. You know what I mean? The A8 and the A6, they don't ride like that. So
these are metro buses in the DC area that still run in Southeast.
So, So, you know, when I left Trinidad at that time, I nearly cried in Piarco Airport because...
Who did you have in Trinidad?
So my first wife was Trinidadian.
Okay.
Me and her graduated high school together. Okay. And my daughter, my oldest daughter, you know, is with her. So we went to Trinidad together. She's from Trinidad. And I'm telling you, man, so I wasn't a tourist. I lived the Trinidadian life, my time there. I cried over in Piarco Airport because I see a country that's black. And it's not run. I don't know all the politics of it. But what I grew up with here in America, this is long before Barack Obama. We never thought we'd see a Barack Obama. There was no... And the black and white oppression in America is very... We all know this. I don't have to go down that road.
Yes.
So for me to come from that to go to a country like Trinidad or a Caribbean island to see what black or somebody as prime minister or head of government is like, wow, this is where I need to be. And even before that in school, they used to have some character used to come on TV where the man used to make the ganja. He was like a Ras. Do we smoke it? Yeah. You remember them things? So everything about this Caribbean culture to me always draw me and intrigue me. Somebody used to have a Yellow Man album. I used to love that. And then when I was going, okay, now here's what really happened.
All right.
When I come from Trinidad, I'm at UDC in college. You know when you're freshman, first semester you start going to these college parties.
Yeah, and that's University of the District of Columbia, UDC. Big up on the UDC,
man. Let me tell you, I went to a college party down around First and I think it's Florida Avenue somewhere. Hip hop playing, boom, everybody in there. The music just changed. The dub come on. Boom, 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 boom. It feel like everybody in the whole house automatically. Rubber dub was in. And everybody, this is same time like 1989, something like that. And it's to feel like the joist in the floor was moving like this. That was it. And then shortly after that, I heard it was Third World and Admiral Bailey. They came to Howard Crampton Auditorium. I knew the tech crew there, so I got in free, was backstage, and I'm observing. Because remember, I'm already a go-go artist in my own right. So I'm watching and observing these guys.
But this is the love of reggae that's starting to play now and to formulate.
Bailey had them thing there. Admiral Bailey had a tune. Then young girls wear your size. Young girls wear your size. And then I get a tape then. Now, this is before Shabba even get big, especially to America. Shabba, I think a Wicked in the Bed. Oh no. Before Wicked in the Bed, it was a Shabba tune, what is it? Hey, why don't you take up a rag and take up a soap and Rongola? Fresh! I never forget that, man. I had a tape with Shabba, Red Dragon, and the Fresh Rhythm. I said, okay. Super Cat come to Howard. So I go back and tell my go-go man, I said, yo, there's some music coming, man. It's like go-go. They call it dancehall. I'm trying to tell you, y'all need to be checking this. Man, Ray, ain't nobody tripping off that shit. Nobody want to hear that shit. I said, okay. And this time though, because anything I study, especially like as a theater major artist, I go in and study hard and deep. I'm starting to understand now. As a go-go artist, I just been right here in Cherries in Southeast or in and around DC. These guys who y'all don't know about, they traveling across the world
Yes.
with this thing they doing. How can I become a dancehall artist like
You
them?
want travel.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So, all right now, it's all coming together. So, and at that time, I still got one foot in the dark side and one foot out.
Okay.
Right? Doing a thing, going through some tribulation with my first wife because I'm a young man. I can't keep myself straight in line. I'm too young. I'm like 24 at that time.
Yeah, okay.
So my brother-in-law, he had a bicycle, and my brother-in-law was one of the Muslim higgler. I want to say higgler, but you know, sell incense and oil. So he showed me saying money make on the street. Then I had a next cousin who was a booster. He go in the store and take anything. My cousin used to come check me on my government job then and bring real designer friends. And the man go out in the day and come back to my job, and people who wear glasses see my cousin. My cousin made more than my paycheck in a couple of hours. I said, oh, okay. So money is on the road. The money is not in having a job. I hadn't heard Marcus Garvey yet, because Marcus Garvey say, never leave your job. You're going to need that to get to Africa. Right? All right. So I hear this band. My brother-in-law tell me, bring him his bike up this club and meet him up this club one night. And I had his bike because, you know me, you're making a little mission and the move. You're doing a thing. So after I do his thing, I think I'm hiding. Government know everything. But I go up there to carry my brother-in-law the bicycle at the club. I probably had about 3,000 in this pocket, cash, and about another 3,000 in this pocket and work. And when is a guy playing bass, he got fired from a go-go band that used to open for us. And he telling me, man, what's up, Lidj? You know, they didn't call me Lidj then. Hey, what's up, Ray? You gonna stay up here, man? My band playing. Won't you change checkers? I said, your band? Who you playing with? You got fired from a go-go band and all. Man, I go in there. So this was Soul Defender Posse. And they was playing Mount Pleasant. I go in there that night and listen to them, and I'm well impressed because I'm hearing this reggae music. Then this brethren come in. They didn't want to give him the mic. I didn't know the full story. But this brother from DC, from Southeast, I got to know that later about him. His dad was a preacher. But he wrote this song called Blood Money, and he sang, his name Amha Baraka. He sang this song called Blood Money in there that night. And when I heard that song, I wanted to take everything in my pocket and just throw it away. I was done. I was done. I was done.
Spoke to you.
It just...
Most High using... So you see people, how the words sound in the music. You had one foot in the dark side. The Most High used the man through the sound, through the frequency, penetrate the heart. You see what I'm saying? And now your mind is a switch flips in your mind. And then now, what's your next move?
So this band, I found out, they have a studio downtown DC, sitting in One World Studios. And that just happened to be up the street from my job, because at that time I was working at Securities and Exchange Commission, federal government job. My marriage is, you know, and the studio is right up the street from my job. Securities and Exchange used to be right down there by the court building, DC court building at that time. So on my lunch break, man, I get in trouble because I run up to the studio. I'm hearing them rehearse. And I'm late getting back to work. I used to be up there and them on them burning and blazing and things. You know what I mean? I'm with it.
Sweet.
It's sweet. And so at that time, I'm going up to getting on the mic with them, doing shows with them. And at that CI first gave me the mic on that night too at the club, because I told them I had been listening to Shaba that same night I told you about when I heard the song. CI, Roots and Z, rest in peace, Zebo. So I told them, they said, you do something? I said, yeah, and I was a go-go rapper. And I've been studying Shaba enough to know Shaba. So I go in there, and I get on the mic, and I'm just too. They like, yo, youth, calm down, calm down, man, calm down, because I was just too hyped, and I think. At that time too, you know, you have to get seasoned. You know this, Kwasi. You're an artist yourself.
Of course.
It takes time to
takes
really
time.
get seasoned
Yes.
as an artist. You know what I mean? If you're in music, please, you never give up. If you know you have a gift, I don't care how good you think you are right now. It's going. You're still not ready yet. You're still not well seasoned.
Very key, and there's no shortcuts. And
There's
this is
no
why
shortcut.
in the business, you know, we have a lot of complaints that artists don't have the stage presence because they're voicing in their home studio, putting it up, uploading it to a platform, but they don't get school on a sound system where they have to carry the box, they have to get boo, they have to come again, you have to get the pitch, make sure your pitch is in, because sometimes your pitch changes.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And your pitch has to match the rhythm that's playing. You know, it's key, and a lot of people don't see that part. So very important. So make sure that you, if you love it, find opportunities. Even myself as an artist, I'm starting to go out to open mic events to start just get myself back out there, because you know, the beautiful thing about now though is that, you know, everything you do can be made into content. You know what I mean? So even you going out sharpening up, that's content that you can feed to you know what I mean, to your following. So right now it's all about perfection. I mean, consistency beats perfection, and we're gonna get to it. So let me bring this all to, where is it that you decide that Rastafari is the life? You saw Rasiris, Raspido, these are legendary elders at a black Pan-African event. And then now something sparked. You saw Ras Mugabe, who was also a legendary angel, a man that looked death in the face. This is a brethren who was run over by a car. They were going to disconnect him, take his life. They decided not to. They said he would never walk again, never talk again. This brethren got up and walked, talk everything, you know, that they said that he would not do. Through the powers of His Majesty, you know, Bingi man went to Bobo Shanti, never deny the king, from he accept the king. Legend again, his son, the Fruits, is now you know, world famous, doing big things. Yeah, Malik Dope. So when was it now that you now decide?
Okay.
All right.
So here it comes again now. I go down to the studio, like I tell you, up the street from the job, One World Studio. I'm in there, and Trent, the saxophone player for the band, brings in Raspidal.
Okay.
And at that time, I don't know if you remember them days when Raspidal, Ras Iris, Sidney used to drive them in this big long gray van. So they come down to the studio and they see the place and they say, oh, because Trent put up Raspidal to stay in his room. All of the entertainers, it was a place where you rehearse downstairs, an old carriage house in DC.
Okay.
And the man them live upstairs and have bathroom and kitchen, everything upstairs. So Trent give up his room to Raspidal, long story short. He just give up his room to Raspidal. Raspidal and the Rastafari elders now are inside of our studio, fitting in. I'm there keen in like this every day because it's Bible and chalice. And it's burning down my job. I don't even want to go back to work. The band them rehearsing downstairs, and what I want to tell you is this band got chosen to be the backing band for the legendary Itals. In this here time. Keith Porter, Ronnie Davis, David Isaacs, the Itals. So they were rehearsing for that. They went to Europe 2 times with the Itals, and they come back and they said they got a space for me on the tour, but I had a job. I said, no, I don't. I resigned from my job. All right? But also during that time, as I was going out on the mic with them at night doing shows and things, I guess a man jokingly called me Yankee Boy DJ down the studio because they was like, what's going to be your name? And man, we, you know, Jonin, that's what we call it, Jonin. So man say Yankee Boy DJ. And that was the kind of the joke name for me around the studio. Peter out here one night and say, who a Yankee? Peter out say, that man more Rasta than all of them. Lidj, Lidj him name.
Hard.
Ras Lidj him name.
Hard.
I'm from, he give me Ras Lidj. Iris, all of the elders them there. Boom.
Crowning.
Cronin. And you see when Peter out there, because you know Peter's a man, when he talk to you, even in a reasoning like this, all as long as I'm talking now, Peter would give you scripture for every question you have.
Yes.
So I started learning from Peter and sit on side him all day and night around him like that. Serious, some nights I don't go home. I'm just there around the elder like that. And those, because what it did, Kwasi, at that point, fully in Rasta now.
Yeah.
Get the name Ras Lidj.
Yeah.
Sighting with the man, learning how to eat, how to live. Start to work for Ras ID up 7 star.
Okay.
You understand? All I want to do is run Rasta energy because remember what I tell you, the other side,
The
dark.
side, yeah, man.
It's dark. I don't want to go over there. I don't even want to see my family, nobody.
Yeah.
When I was playing with the band, I used to get up there, like I said, and I do 1 or 2. Because reggae at that time, if you know dancehall DJs, they never let the DJs come in.
Yeah.
The man, them are musicians. They playing the music of reggae.
Yeah.
The DJ was like a feature style thing.
Yeah.
And so that's why I had to go more towards getting to my own thing.
Yes.
Okay. Because the DJ was more like a style thing. But when I go up there, the man start paying me a certain amount of money. And it was more than I was getting in the reg, standing up on stage 2 hours a full night with the Reg-Go band. Just to come up there and feature. And then Go-Go was right here. With my reggae band, I was going to West Virginia. I was going different places. So I said, okay, reggae is it.
Yeah.
Come back off tour with the iTunes. I can link up with the guy DJ Flex. He had the water dance out there. That's probably why you will never hear my music on 95.5.
Why?
That was can't even really mention Flex. I'm gonna let the man live, but it was a.
You talking about the DJ Flex?
Yes, man, 95.5.
Okay.
When the man first bust, when he take the song from Water Dance, because Northeast Groovers did it first, Get in the Water. Flex is a DJ now. And go remix Northeast Groovers and make his Water Dance.
Okay.
He have the engine to make the song go out. Right? And he coming in. So he see me one night because I did a show called WPGC Home Jams. I had put out my little single. Then time, that's when I was Jamaica. And you remember, everybody used to dress like Capleton. As an artist back in them days. If you look at the 80s and the early 90s, dancehall artists used to dress. Capleton wasn't the only one. And you had to have your suit maker make your suit. I used to have them suit there. Linens, We used to have a girl on Georgia Avenue used to sell them. So I go get 2 of them pieces and I do WPGC Home Jams video show. And Flex in my rhythm because I did a song called Must Represent, but I put it on a rhythm that was popular from Go-Go.
Yeah.
It was a Ton Club, Do You Want to Have Some Fun? But Ray Essence redid it, Do You? So, but I put a dancehall beat, do-do-do-do-doom-doom-doom, do-do-do-do-doom-doom-doom. I put the dancehall beat on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the song was must represent, DC we come from, we got to represent. You know what I mean? So I big up everybody in DC, everybody in Go-Go. But I was learning the chant style from the dancehall artists.
Okay.
I was watching what the dancehall DJs was doing.
And bringing it into the Go-Go.
And then that's what I had to go on my own because my band couldn't understand. After Shabba Bus, the Go-Go band asked me to do. I think they wanted me to do the Shabba Johnny Gill body, something like that.
Your body can lie.
Yeah, and they wanted me to, you have the remedy for your heart. You know, I had the big voice.
Yeah.
But at that time, I didn't want to do it no more, not even in Go-Go, because remember this. That time in reggae music, if you go use a Next Man lyrics on stage and somebody see you, Baco Fling.
Yeah.
I know that from Jamaican culture.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Pirate.
Pirate. And then words, I'm not Jamaican, so somebody, if they go play somewhere and somebody like you, how you just happen to go to Go-Go that night. You know that? Fling way. You know, so I was like, in myself, I say no. So that turned me into, and then I'm there around Pedal.
Yeah.
Who encourage me all the time. Write for yourself. Write.
Yeah.
So and so now Ras Lidj, we get the name, is Rastafari fully. I'm getting the teachings from the elders. You have even down to Nana Farika, Sister Bubbles. You know them time. They
Yeah,
was
man.
highly very joyful for us as Rasta.
Because I think I first met the eye through Reggae-G0,
Yes,
which is Nana Farika son, which big up
Big up
Reggae-G0, which
Gizzy.
I've seen him recently too.
Mm.
You know, cause him come to DC sometime.
We want to check
his
Gizzy,
mother.
man.
Yeah, man. Check
One
his mother.
side.
But Naya Bingi house. Talk about the Bingi house of Washington DC. Because I want to do a documentary on the Naya Bingi house of Washington DC. You know, 'cause it was a special on 10th Street. Talk to me about.
You going to 10th Street?
Yeah. Well, before it,
Okay, because you're gone too far.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Bring me.
Okay, so this same studio I tell you about.
Yeah.
Fit in him. They once belonged to the band Soul Defenders Posse.
Yeah.
We left and went on tour. Ross Iris at this time, Pedal was living there already. Ross Iris had moved down to the basement just across the way from the studio.
Yeah.
While we went on tour with the Itals one time, we left 2 other guys in there too to watch the studio. Something happened in mine. It was just bad. The studio get broken into and we lose a lot of things. So after that, the keyboard player who really run the studio, he take it and move to a next location on 9th and O.
Okay.
Ross Iris get the building now. That same building became the first Rastafari Naya Bingi house.
Okay.
You see, some of the documentary where you see Ross Records doing things like that was done in there, inside that same building.
Okay.
Okay?
Alright, that was before my time.
But yeah, because definitely before your time. So, Marcus and Gizzy, young youth, one at a time, them live in front of the studio up on 5th Street. Can't forget that. Big up Andy, the road manager. You know, and so through that now, Ross I was running that Bingi house. Something, I don't know what went on with that place after a time. Ras Mugabe come in again.
Yes, because they moved to his house, right?
Yes. No, right around this time.
Yes.
I want to interject, and people, I know this sounds like an interview for me, but here's what's turning. It might sound like I'm interviewing him because I want you to understand what his brethren inspire me. I'm meeting this guy, as he tell you, around this same time where I'm in now. The brethren Gizzy take me to him. This young man was a freshman. He's a lawyer now. You understand? He's an artist. He's also a lawyer, attorney. So you know how long you have to go to school to become an attorney. He was a freshman in college when I first meet him. He just come here, you know. And so my brethren Gizzy take, and we part that night. And this is around the time Mugabe start the Bingi house. The Bingi in his mother's. Because we had it before. It needed to reform again. Mugabe bring the vibes back, Bingi vibes back in his mother basement. We grow the congregation of Rastafari sons and daughters grow so large that we were blessed to get the house over on 10th Street. And 10th Street, Bingi house come in, and the collective really started. And I believe there was a new dynamic happening too, because as we see in Rastafari change now with the new generation of ones and ones like the Chronics and these guys. Me coming up with Pedal and Bingi, those Bingi Ellaites. I was learning some foundation Rasta thing from Jamaica. And I'm not gonna say Rastafari teachings wasn't for where we were in our current day and time then. Rastafari foundations is always needed. Always necessary. The ancient teachings must be upheld. But as we move and then life is, you get where I'm going? As life is evolving, we have to evolve and start do new things. So guys like the ISELF coming in with new ideas.
Lions like I and I. Yes,
Lions like I and I. No. See, that's what I'm telling you. Okay, stick a pin. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I can't be talking to Southeast DC talk, man, around my brethren there. Because if you don't know what just happened, I use a word like I'm in DC. A guy. You never say guy to a Jamaican, never alone a Rasta. No. Forgive I, King. Forgive I.
Oh, bless him.
That's why I say, you see them old ways from the old community in DC, they might be burnout and Rastafari liberty have to come into Rastafari. So that's why people, I know y'all know I'm from DC and y'all want to hear me speak the DC slang, but when I'm reasoning with Rasta, I have to talk the Rastafari way so I don't make the mistake.
Yes. Good illustration. Because when he sends it out to his DC man, they're gonna say, Rastafari, I don't know you talk like that, you know?
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, so the Naya Bingi house, because this to it was like a university, you know? Because I came into the Naya Bingi house, you know, clean shaven, Caesar cut, you know what I mean, left as a Congo man to this day, and it was an explosion of young energy. I think that's what you're talking about, because the elders were there, but there was a portion to young youths, college youths, you know, just some street youths were there. It was just, you know, it was, and this place was open 24/7.
Yes.
So any time of day you go in there, chalice is reasoning, drums in the
Saturday
basement.
night.
Yeah, Saturday night, every Saturday.
Sabbath.
Sabbath. You coming from early, pot of bubble, you know, someone's a bubble up, sip. It was
order.
Yeah, it was an experience, and unfortunately, the dark side came in there, and I don't even know if you know what happened. There were shot busts inside of the place, and we're not gonna go into that part.
We're not gonna go into that.
But just to show you that it's real, you know, and even though but for that time that the Bingi house was there, it was such a powerful. What was your experience?
In that particular Bingi house, in my growth in Rastafari now, I gotta hail up Ras Ivis because he see me as an artist and he always push me forward. But I start to keep myself reserved because as much as I love Rastafari and I brethren and sisters, I start to see some wolf in sheep clothing early.
Okay.
And it's hard, as you say, to come tell the I don't want to be no man that pass no word. You have to go through your experience. But I don't want to come tell the watch for this man here. Because that man do so. I can't be Mr. Chatty in that kind of way.
And then you're coming from the dark side, so you can identify darkness very fast.
Remember that, because that happened in Africa too. So that's what happened.
We're gonna go because Rastley's also try to garner us for a whole heap of thing. So I'm gonna try to be judicious with the time because we're coming up on an hour. But there's so much to read. I know this bridging over 20 years, you know, of history, and we're just scratching. So, all right, fast forward to the creation of Rego. You know how, you know, you had the dancehall side, you had a reggae side, you had a go-go foundation. What was the aha moment where you realized to create this genre?
Okay, a couple of things. As I said, I want to talk about my first Bingi real quick. My first Bingi too was in Prospect Park, New York.
Okay.
And I can't remember Augustus Pablo coming that night, and it's, you know, when you never see a Bingi before and you knew, and you coming from Southeast, you like, what these dudes doing, man? You know what I'm saying? What they up to? But the fire was blazing and there was a little mist like drizzle that night in Prospect Park. And one of my biggest things I remember that night, I didn't understand about 12 Tribes either, because Winston Zebulon was working for 7 Star. He rode to New York, but he went over to 12 Tribes to go to a dance. We stayed there to the Bingi. This was July 23rd too.
July 23rd. So, which they still have that in Prospect Park. I've been there for July 23rd. Big up all of the Bingi man them in Brooklyn, Harlem, you know, Bronx, New York, you know. Massive respect.
The fire was blazing. I remember the little mist coming down, little rain. And the fire, the police come over to one of, like he want come, ask me to stop it. As the man come close, the fire raised. Seriously, big and serious. I see this with my own eyes. I said, okay, Rastafari real, you know.
Mystic.
Mystic,
so
serious. Those kind of things. But as we come to Rego now, like I said, playing with the brethren, and once I got with the reggae band, I started they recognized my go-go side, and I was trying to bring the go-go over to this band.
Yeah.
And I was on the road with the Itals, even before this Bingi house.
Yes.
On 10th Street you talking about, I was going on the road with the Itals.
Okay.
And I can remember one time, as you see, I speak patois fluent enough.
Yeah.
And I'm a dread growing, and I have a bunch of Rastafari crown.
Yeah.
And we in California somewhere, and I remember we had to leave the place quick. We did a show, we had to leave and get to the next place. So I run in the basement, I wasn't speaking patois. And I said to the girl, I said to the band, I said, look here, man, come on, man. Y'all gotta get all y'all stuff, man. Come on, I gotta get on the bus, we gotta go. You know what I mean? I know y'all talking and this and that here. I'm in a straight southeast zone talking to them, but I'm letting them know, man, y'all gotta get on the bus, we gotta roll.
Yeah.
This girl stopped me, and I carried her to meet the Itals.
Yeah.
When she heard that, she stopped me, she said, wait, you're not from Jamaica. You're Jamaica. You're from DC. Talk again. Talk again. So I said, oh, okay. And the Itals used to let me play percussion at some shows, or smaller shows. The festivals, they let me play percussion. And I had the Congo in me because I'm from DC. So I said, okay, go and reggae. So it started.
Okay, so you started to see the value of your culture now, that this is now something that people want to see as well.
Yeah, yeah. And always then too, when I listen to reggae is a music they play that they strip down the music so much to the bass and drum. When I'm listening, I can always hear that space for the Congo pocket. I always, in any reggae song, I always can hear that. Boom boom. It's Chronic's got a percussion player that play it best.
Yes.
I swear Chronic's got a if that you land in DC and hear go-go, Chronic's gone upon a different thing. Yeah, because that you serious.
Yeah, man.
And that's what
Herman the drummer, I believe his name is.
That's what we lose in DC too. What became ever prominent for me doing Rego. In go-go, we do other people's songs. We just do covers. As you said, it's a party music. It's about playing a song where you can sing along, the beat don't stop. So there's no new creativity and no listening for no new lyrics. You can't do that in reggae. Even though reggae have the same rhythm, every man have his own lyrics. As I said, you can't Cable Thing can't go chat Beanie lyrics and in them days the thing you have to come with your own thing. So that's what I started learning, and I started writing. Now, this put me way outside of the go-go family. But I was meeting new audiences, new crowds, going to these other places. Formed my own band, start keeping shows because that reggae band was doing their thing. They went on their own. I would get some of the guys from the go-go band to play with me, and I just kept trying the thing. And I kept trying the thing. And I kept trying. I started this, really, I made my first recording around 91. Like I said, I left and went to the country in 99. Down Carolina, came back here in 2004, reformed the band. I did a couple of recordings before I left in 91. Like I said, I did Must Represent. Raspidal gave me a hit. Raspidal and Mugabe gave me hits. Because one day, through my family situation, you know, in them days, Rastaman used to talk. Yeah, how much youth you have? You know, boy, you only get one yet, your father, and then, so, and as most black Americans usually say, your father said, boy, I don't know my father, no, you know, I get my last name because I grew up my stepfather. And they might stop, no, they don't want to hear that. Raspidal said to this, and it made me write this song called Son of a One Night Stand. Raspidal said to me, yo, we know you're not that. You see, if your father never do nothing else for you in life, your father plant the seed would make you. What you do with your life is up to you. Okay. And so, what made me write Son of the One Night Stand now? Because at the same time, we reasoning on the birth of Christ. And him showing me a thing where, watch out, there's a man angel visit Mary and her cousin. What's that now? A man angel. And tell Mary she with child. Now how that look when Mary go back to Joseph and to anybody else? And then we know in humans. We don't say God can't do immaculate, but we know how baby is born. Under certain things, we know how baby is born. So, you know, and Christ come. So when he showed me that and I related to me, said, well, if Christ coming, he's meant to do what he meant in life. And no matter how my mother get pregnant with me, one thing I love my mother for, and I tell her every day, after having 5 boys, and that relationship mash up, because she was married to my brother's father, and then I come, and my biological father, black women in them days was using the coat hanger. And for my mother never used the coat hanger and let me get this life.
Yes, you give thanks.
Thank you, mama.
I get it from my mama. I get it from my mama. I get it, mom. Go down there, go down there, go down there, when I go down there, go down there, go down there. Yeah, I love you, mom. I get it from my mama. Don't she look good now? Here we go, Bob. Johnny BC. Papa up and drive the hypocrites. Is it good? Good friends we are. They're the good friends, you know we are.
You know what I mean?
And it wasn't easy for her because living in that time, you can imagine the stress she had having all these boys in the murder capital. As you say, you lost, brothers to violence and different things. So serious things. So take us now to Rego is out now. What's the first big Rego song? What's the first official Rego song?
Wow, man. That's a hard question because I kept recording. I remember Tony Java used to keep I win an award down there, DC Reggae Award, because Tony Java was keeping the DC Reggae Awards and my band got to play that night. And we do so much and people really get to hear the Rego sound. One of the biggest things that hit hard at the Carter Burn, and that's one of the biggest videos out there on social media now, is Bob Marley, No Woman, No Cry. Like I tell you, I've always watched the parallels in Jamaica and Southeast for me. So I'm doing Bob Marley, No Woman, No Cry. And when we play it as Bob. We start out like that, play No Woman, and I always say, look, that's Bob Marley. Bob Marley did that song, respect. My name is Lidj. I can only be the best Lidj I can be, so can I be myself? And I explained to them, growing up in Southeast DC, I was listening to all the good go-go music. At the same time, my father, who I grew with, was playing to me Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Burning Spear, Bonnie Wailer, all the great reggae music. When Jah bless me with these nuts, I get a meditation to myself, and it's like a gift God give, a gift that God give me. And when he give it to me, I asked the crowd, I said, you want to know what I was thinking? Let me tell you what I was thinking. Level, low. If Mr. Nesta Marley was to come to DC and him and Chuck Brown ever would link, but Bob Marley and Chuck Brown never get to link, so they leave it to the band Lidj, you see. If Mr. Nesta Marley was to come to DC and do it in a Rego style of party, when Lidj and the Ghetto Youth ever get to link, it's gonna sound a little something like this. Listen.
If Mr. Nesta Marley was to come to DC and him and Chuck Brown ever with a link, but Bob Marley and Chuck Brown never get a link, so they leave it to the band Rasta. If Mr. Nesta Marley was to come to DC and do it in a Rego style of party, the Mr. Nesta Marley was to come to, it would have sounded a little something like this. Listen, I remember when we used to sit in a government yard in DC. Hey, get out! Hey, I'm observing the hypocrites, yeah. They would.
I remember. It's the go-go hit then. We play the whole song straight under the go-go vibration. And the crowd just turn up. They gone because that go-go bring that energy. You see what I'm saying? The go-go. So that's one of the biggest hits weekend. And then from there, the Empress did she did a song by Adele, my Empress and Queen who's in the band. She's a singer, Harmony Black. She did recently she did Gregory Isaac's Night Nurse. I did a live CD, that's what I was telling you about the DC Reggae Awards. I did a live CD then. And then the recent EP, I just talk. Well, before the recent EP, yeah, I did Son of a One Night Stand, all of those songs there.
What's your biggest Rego song to date, you think? Or favorite reggae? Biggest song and then your favorite. So I don't know, it's like picking from children.
It's hard, yeah, it's hard to say. We got REG-G0, Rego, Keep It District. We got Tour Bus, which tell about Tony Rebel did With a Nice Place to Live, Sweet Jam Down. So I turn it around and say, oh, with a nice place to live. Washington, you see the problem is the politicians with a sweet place to live. DC town, then around where I live, the tour bus don't come. You know what I mean? So I flip that. So they got tour bus, but then I think we get down. Some of my favorites lately is two. All to the East did really big for me. All to the East. Yes.
So we're gonna play that right now.
Well, I'm talking about all to the East. All to the East. All to the East. Won't you look to the East? Come again now. All to the East. All to the East. Say what? All to the East. I want you look to the East. Hey, Mama Africa. She calling you. Mama Africa. You hear her calling you. Mama Africa. She's calling you. Mama Africa. You hear her calling you. Mama Africa. Around the corner, y'all. Mama Africa. In Gambia too. Mama Africa. Down Sierra Leone. Mama Africa. All over Africa. It's just all to the East. All to the East. All to the East. I want you look to the East. One more time. Come on. All to the East. All to the East. Say what? All to the East. I want you look to the East. Mama Africa. She calling you. Mama Africa. Oh well, I got to get there. Mama Africa. You know I'm gonna be there. Mama Africa. You should come on along. Mama Africa. Oh, cause nothing could be finer. Mama Africa. Within the Black Star Line. Mama Africa. Leaving out the Anacostia. Mama Africa. To the coast of Ghana.
All to the East became the official theme song for Repatriation when I was in Ghana.
Yeah. Talk about your trip to Ghana.
Again, people, believe all you coming, we say Rastafari. If you don't want to say Rastafari, just know that there is a higher power. Some call him God. Whatever you call him, there's a higher power and an energy in you that exists. He's real. I'm living testimony. The story I'm going to tell you because you see how long I've been in music and I love it. And not everybody get the chance, okay? Everybody always said they wanted to tour Europe and this and that. I always said from I was young, I want to go to Africa first. The Empress said for her Earth Strong, she want to go to Africa. So she picked Ghana. I said, fine. Happy wife, happy life. Taking you to Ghana. You know what I mean? So we get in Ghana, and what I didn't know at the same time I'm going, because she just do the arrangements. We never know nobody else going. We just say we're going to go there and feel our way around and figure out and see what's what. We have a brethren who heard that I was going to Ghana on WPFW in CeeLo and his wife, Naya Bingi. They heard about it. They came to see me play the Panafrican Festival and say, we may meet you there. When I got off the plane, they were right there for me. Also going down at that time was a sister named Pepe. She used to promote in DC, Jamaican sister.
Yeah, man, I know Pepe.
Pepe was going down and we just happened to be on the same plane. And Pepe go down, so she tell me the first night, she said, Lidj, I want you and Harmony come meet me at this club. That time, 2019, the club named Jamrock.
Yes.
The sister named married to a yard brother.
They moved to the hotel.
They moved to the hotel. We're gonna get that. But the first jam rock.
Yeah, the first jam was nice.
We go in there and Peppy get me there. And before I could even sit down and eat, she tell the sister, yo, I'm here. I got my friends here, Lidj and his wife, and they here. And can you put them up there to do something with the band? I just walk in the door. People, when I tell you, in a matter of time, the sister go talk to the band and they called me up. After this performance, I could have died and gone to heaven. I'd have been totally happy because my dream for life, for everything to me was to perform in Africa. Yeah. That's it, nothing else. I don't care how many world stage you can, I don't know about none of them big shows. I never see them yet. Yeah. Africa was it for me. And I went in Jam Rock that first night and hit the stage, bro. Wow. I did a Junior Kelly cover and I put in some of my Love So Nice, Me and My Wife. And I put in something else behind that because I wanted to get him something familiar, they know. Tear down the place, get him a boujou, because you know I always do boujou tunes too. Get him a boujou, tear down the place. And when I was in there that night, by the time I get a lady my CD and flash drive, the rest of the night, even when the club gone, my thing dip on repeat. Okay. So now when I'm moving through Ghana now, I have about maybe 100 flash drives and maybe 300 CDs everywhere I go. Any taxi I ride in with, I just give them, I don't sell nothing, I give them because you want the music out there. You have to invest in yourself. Yeah, somebody said, man, you need to talk to Black Santino. Okay. Black Santino. Now remember before I was going down, you tried to link me with Ohuma Bosco.
Yeah, Daddy Bosco.
Daddy Bosco. Yeah. So when I said, tell the brethren, I said, I was supposed to leave with a meet with Bosco. They said, no, Bosco. Them say Santino and Bosco are brethren. Them call up Santino. And I talked about 3, 4, 5 man. And so me and Santino link up. And when I first go meet Santino, I mean, also stick up in because I go through Ghana and Cape Coast, Elmina. When I'm down there, I meet another DJ. I'm staying at the hotel down there. And the lady said, you need to talk to Bingi. Bingi runs some station down there, Cape Coast. This man come over to One Africa, interview me, go play it on his station down Elmina. Boom, I leave there. I'm going up to Kumasi now. It's my Empress birthday. We stayed, don't do what I did in Ghana. I stayed at an expensive hotel that I didn't need to, the Golden Tulip. Shout out to the Golden Tulip. Yeah. So I stayed there. It was nice because my Empress birthday, she was turning that royal age.
Nothing wrong with spending some money sometimes.
Sometimes.
But you have to balance.
You have to balance. So I give her this birthday party in this nice hotel and everything because I just wanted her to know all for her. We in Kumasi and we stayed there. The next day I leave out there and it's getting late. She want to stop. We stop on the street and I'm messing with this youth playing his drum and his next Ras walk past me. And him look for me and him say, man, an artist. Just look for me. Say, man, an artist. I say, yeah, man. How you know? He say, I just sight the high vibe, you know. Say, man, I couldn't make you hear my music. I tell the cab driver, turn up the music, let him hear it, because he's playing it. And he hear him, he say, boy, Ross, where you go? Where you leave? I could have put you up on my radio station. This is the man, him run reggae band rag, and what's his name now? He's in Kumasi. I soon tell you his name. Soon tell you his name. It's in my head.
But the point is, when you go to these places, things can happen. You know what I mean? You see, you didn't plan any of these things. These things are just unfolding because you're putting out that intention. Africa is like that, and I want people to know, you know, Africa is a mystical place. You know,
very.
You know what I mean? It's hard. Don't get us wrong because we can tell you stories about the reality.
P-God, stick again.
Okay.
P-God is the man in Ghana. Okay. And when I tell him, no, see how this is coinciding with what you're saying about how Africa is. So I tell him, P-God, I'm only in Kumasi for tonight. I have to get back to Accra tomorrow because I'm supposed to meet with Black Santino. Black Santino gonna interview me. P-God said, whoa, Black Santino, that's my brethren. Him teach all of us about the reggae and all the DJ, woo, woo, woo. So I said, brethren, if it's meant to happen to interview on your station, it will happen. So I said, we changed numbers, said, stay with me. Boom. So, and I'm rushing this story, but I want you to get this, how important that is. I go back to Accra. I'm meeting with Black Santino down on Law Beach. I forgot the things for make him get the recording because I have a little digital recorder. And I was just going to let him take the little drive from that and do a recording. I had everything. So I told Santino, come to my hotel tomorrow since I forget the thing. Come interview me at my hotel. So he said, cool. So, because we reason, in that time we get a good talk, he get to understand everything about go-go and how Rego come up. He hear this before he get to interview me. So I give him the music and I sent it to him before he never listened to it. Yeah. So when I give it to him that night, he called me the next morning. He said, Ras Lidj, you don't know what you have. He's talking about All to the East. Yeah. Do you realize what you have? You don't. He said, man, he said, I'm the commissioner for Repatriation for the Rastafari Council here in Ghana. Yeah. I've been looking for a song to be the theme song. Yeah. This is it. I'm coming to talk to you. What? Yeah. I say, my hotel is here. Come to me. So we sit down and do a nice interview, man. Me and Santino. No. When Santino interview done, P God never get in touch with me. I was waiting. Yeah. When I walk out and we go on the street, you know, shopping is everywhere in the street in Ghana. Everybody. Me and the Empress stopped to do some shopping and bring my phone ring. P God calling me. Yes, I couldn't call you because the power roll and go out in Ghana. So I'm on the street. He called me to interview me. So I run inside. I said, hold on. I run inside the bank. But the way I'm talking in the bank now, the security in the bank know I'm doing the interview. You're not supposed to be on the phone in a bank in Ghana at all. Yeah. The bank manager come out and say, no, you gotta leave. Security tell him no, he's okay. At the same time, there's a lady getting money out the ATM. She says, oh my God, he speaks so well. Who is he? Who is it? I want to know who he is. I'm in my bag. I'm handing him CDs and flash drives while I'm interviewing, talking to P-God. I said, man, please just wait for me. I'll talk to you. Just let me finish this interview. The lady waited for me. Do you know who she was? She was from GBC Radio, Ghana Broadcast Central. I was flying out of Ghana to come home the next day. The lady, and I told her again, I said, if it's God's will, it would happen. She called me in my hotel room. She said, I couldn't get you on TV, but I got you on radio. Get to the station now. Bridget, that was my first trip in Ghana. So I had to go back.
So the powers, and I actually met Ras Lidj in Ghana, at a gathering.
Yeah, Bota.
In the Bota region. We're going to have to wrap it up because I'm seeing we've gone past an hour and 15 minutes. So we might have to put some on the Patreon. We'll see how it goes. Tell me what you want to say. But before we go, what are you working on right now, and where can the people then connect with your movement?
So anything at Rego, this is it, the Rego brand, Rego logo. It's 3 G's. REG-G0 at Rego Music, Instagram, TikTok, those social medias. On Facebook, it's Ras Lidj, Rego, RASLIDJ, Rego, REG-G0.
And we'll put it up on the screen there as well.
And we have Ras Lidj, Rego Music, that's Facebook. Yes, at Rego Music on most of those. I'm getting ready to work on it. I decided I wanted to do another live album because that's going to capture the energy of the go-go inside of Rego, you know. I did a single. I got to tell y'all real quick before I go. I got to collaborate with legendary Carl Malcolm. Nice. Carl Malcolm, Miss Fatty, Miss Wireways, Fatty Boom Boom, those songs. In a Rego style, you can find Ras Lidj, Rego, and Carl Malcolm, Fatty Boom Boom. You know, it's the big new single release we just put out. You gotta play that one for them too. Fatty Boom Boom, you know. I want to tell you about that. That's the latest collaboration I did. It went nice in Jamaica when I was there. Okay. I performed, I'm rushing because we gotta go, but I was recently in Jamaica. I got to perform at, the Rio Hotel. Yes. And I came in the Gleaner News, was it the Gleaner?
I think it was the Gleaner.
Yeah.
Observer.
Observer. Came in the Observer newspaper. Did some
well-traveled brethren. He goes to Rebel Salute almost
every year. Rebel Salute. Yeah. That's the thing. So I was a brethren here who's a promoter. I did his show. He spoke to Rebel and said he was trying to get me on the show. Yeah. It fell through, so that's how I ended up at Rio. Okay. One day Rebel, but when I was on the festival, Fancy Cat told me, say, I asked Fancy Cat, because I always ask yard people, how do you like Rego after they hit me? Fancy Cat told me, saying, well, nice. I'll see you at Sumfest. So, and when I did my interview on Sun City Radio, they said that too. They can hear me at Sumfest. So I'm just speaking it in existence.
Yeah, man. And please make sure you follow the movement. This is the founder. It's not too many times that you're going to see the man that created a new genre, a sub-genre. This is the godfather. So one day, you know, when Rego explode and a generation come and take it up, they're going to have to look to this man here as the pioneer. They're going to have to hear the story. And this is why it's important for us to come on this platform and tell our own story, because the time has come for the lions to tell our own story. And
Lion Voice
is Lion Voice.
Lion Voice.
REG-G0, Rasta, Rego, Reggae Liquid Go-Go, alongside original reggae legend called Malcolm. Rego remix called
Hey, fatty boom boom, the sweet sugar dumpling. Hey, fatty boom boom, let me tell you something. No, not because you're so big and fat. Don't believe I'm afraid of that. Self-praise is no recommendation. I'm the king from creation.
Hey, fatty boom boom. And now let me tell you something. I said, hey, fatty boom boom. I wanna see you work that something. Oh, hey, fatty boom boom. You my sweet sugar dumplings. Yeah. Hey, fatty boom boom. Let me see you work that something.
No me da look like most man a run dollar bread. I wouldn't stop trying till I drop down dead. Never let your big size fool you. The cooler day you
Nah, run from it.
Hey, fatty boom boom, sweet sugar dumpling. Hey, fatty boom boom, let me tell you something. I said not because you're so big and fat. Don't believe I'm afraid of that. Self-praise is no recommendation. I'm the king from creation.
Watch out, fatty work. Watch out, she move. Fatty no fi do fi get the rise in the mood. Watch out, fatty work. Watch out, she groove. Fatty and the things she just know how to do. Fatty cute, nice and sweet. Pretty smile, nice and fluffy. A little fatty whole lot of me to give me nice and warm when we under the sheet.
No me da look like most man a one dollar bread. I wouldn't stop trying till I drop down dead. Never let your big size fool you. The cooler day you be
Bless up all slim girls, nice and cute. Keep it a buck, I won't lie. I'ma tell you the truth. Right now I need fluffy to hold on to. It's what's inside, not the size. Most man will agree. Even if she way over 220, she love you and she love me. That's what I want. She goodie ever nice, steady. She stay ready. Lock it down, fatty, and work it with me,
I
baby.
said not because you're so big and fat. Don't believe I'm afraid of that. Self-praise is no recommendation. I'm the king for creation.
Hey BBW, we watching you on the dance floor. Just look how she move. She said the big size full of surprise, and if she back it up, can you handle it right? Hey BBW, we watching you on the dance floor. Just look how she move. She said the big size full of surprise, and if she back it up, can you manage that?